Very important breaking news coming in here on India Reports. We've gained access to an intelligence note by the Research and Analysis Wing, which warns that India and China could be on the brink of a violent border clash. Sources telling headlines today that a warning has been sounded at the highest levels. Are the two Asian giants close to a conflict? The possibility of China triggering a border skirmish is apparently extremely high at this stage.
Now, the note which was sent by Raw to the government clearly says that there are huge possibilities of a skirmish taking place along the line of control. Now, all of this pretty much to put away focus from the domestic problems that China is going through. Now, this was a highly confidential note that Headlines Today has access for their viewers. It was sent by Raw to the government officials.
Even the Prime Minister and the Prime Minister's office are in cognizance of this particular note from India's external intelligence agency. Foreign Affairs Editor Saurabh Shukla has gotten his hands on this exclusive copy of this very, very disturbing note. The possibility, Saurabh, of a border clash between India and China. It ends moderately, Saurabh. It says a prolonged conflict is unlikely, but the possibility of any kind of skirmish, Saurabh, with China is absolutely unthinkable for both countries at this time.
Absolutely, Shiv. You know that in today's day and age, even a small skirmish between the two Asian giants can be really disastrous, and that's the reason it's really a disturbing thing that the Research and Analysis Wing, which is the external intelligence agency of the government of India, has warned the government that there is a likelihood of a skirmish. And they've also enlisted reasons for that. They've enlisted domestic reasons, the fact that China leadership is under tremendous pressure from what's going on in Tibet. There are a lot of emulations happening. The economic situation is bad. Plus the 18th Party Congress, where the entire Chinese leadership will change, and they also have a problem in the South China Sea. But the report clearly enlists that it's unlikely that they will risk a conflict in the South China Sea, but it's more likely that on the line of actual control, there is a skirmish likely. That's the reason why India has to be really careful about that.
All right, Saurabh Shukla there. Our Deputy Editor Gaurav Sawant also on the phone line with us. Gaurav, is it not now that if you gauge this entire breaking news in the larger picture, that the army has been repeatedly asking to bolster defense in the northeast?
Not just in the northeast, Preeti, also in eastern Ladakh. The threat perception, according to the highest sources in the military leadership, is the northeast. Arunachal Pradesh would perhaps just be a mock-up attack, some kind of a deception plan. An attack in the northeast would be a deception plan. The real offensive, the real Chinese offensive would be in eastern Ladakh. That is where China has really been strengthening its defenses, whether it's their road infrastructure, whether it's their artillery infrastructure, whether it's their air defense in that area, their aerial assets in that area. As Shiv can tell you better, that's the area where China wants to make an offensive just to prove a domestic point. It's not just military intelligence, it's not just raw, but several analysts have even talked about a time frame, 2012-13, for a conflict because of internal disturbances in China.
And that's right, Gaurav. The fact is that this particular note from Raw that Saurabh has accessed only bolsters what successive army chiefs, military leaders in the country have been warning about: an increasingly assertive China, a war, a skirmish on the border, even a small, short one, will be in the realm of possibility in the next couple of years. And that's really the scary part about this breaking news. It proves just what those concerns are. They're not just blind paranoia. We'll keep a track of that story and get you a report on that in just a few hours. We're getting some reactions